Hey, it's Ray. It's Sober Without God. It's Saturday book review, and I'm still on my Stuart Woods kick. This is Dirt, number 2 in the Stone Barrington series, and I am enjoying the Stone Barrington character because he's just a dog. He makes me feel better about myself morally. As I've said, his moral compass is broken. It is in disrepair. It is like his moral compass has been dropped off a 400-story building, fallen to the ground, and someone is still trying to use it. But he is the main character in the book, a retired New York Police Department police officer who has turned into an attorney and now is a private investigator for a law firm. And he goes around solving crimes and trying cases and doing investigative work, and at the same time having lots of escapades is one way you could say it. So this is Dirt. Comes on the heels of New York Dead. The first book, New York Dead, was written in 91. This one was written in 96. So 5 years between the first Stone Barrington book and the second Stone Barrington book. The third one, Dead in the Water, comes much quicker after Dirt. So this book, not as great as New York Dead. It follows the journey of gossip columnists in New York City who are being blackmailed and written about and being followed around. So a couple of people, turns out, again, not really much of a spoiler alert. I'm not going to spoil the ending for you in case you want to go read the Stuart Woods book yourself. But there are people who are following them around in order to expose them for their lies and their deceit. And it follows a woman around named Amanda, and she is one of the main characters who's being blackmailed, and she's trying to get to the bottom of it. So she hires and sleeps with, of course, Stone Barrington. Stone sleeps with 3 different women in this novel, and Amanda, his client, is the first, which is a no-no if you are an attorney, not to have relations with your client. But she hires him and retains him to find out who is sending these mysterious faxes all across the city, dishing out dirt and gossip about people in the gossip industry. What a shocker. So he has to, and one of the recurring themes in Stuart Woods novels is at the end of each book, Stone Barrington has a relationship with the woman from the last book. So the author has to find a way to do away with the relationship from the previous book, and so he can find a new woman to hook up with in this book. So at least by chapter 15. So he does that. And in the last book, it was a judge. And so in this book, he awkwardly breaks it off so that he can start having a relationship with his client in this book. And so things progress. There's a lot of espionage in this novel where phones are tapped and people are sneaking around and trying to find out information and dirt. But he also meets a woman named Arrington in this book. And Arrington becomes his love interest in this book. And they have a semi-platonic relationship for a while. And then they get extremely serious about one another. And he's got it bad for her. I mean, for once, you think maybe Stone Barrington's got it serious for someone enough, and the story about Arrington carries over into Dead in the Water for a little bit. And interestingly enough, to find out more about Stone's moral compass, he's on a stakeout, and he's trying to stay awake. So what does Stone Barrington do in order to stay awake? So he starts thinking about all the people he graduated with in high school, and he can recall about 80% of them. And then the graduation memory done, he started on girls. He tried to remember each of the girls he had slept with from his freshman year at NYU when he had had his first sexual experience until he graduated. And it goes on like that for 2 big paragraphs talking about the different women he slept with. Why? What was the point of that? Was it to show that Stone Barrington was a dog? We already knew that. Woof. Another interesting passage in this book is he pursues the 2 suspects who I believe are mobbed up. He's chasing them down, going. There's a lot of it where he just gets there almost in time. These 2 suspects kill a cop, so the cops are out after him. He's chasing after him. He finally catches up to him. But before he catches up to him, in order to track him down, he finds their sister. And he's really in love with Arrington. He is so in love with her, doing everything with her. They're spending all this time together and like basically living together at this point. So he goes and he finds these 2 suspects. He finds their sister. And in this really short chapter, I mean, this is the chapter. He finds the suspect's sister, and he says Stone, who had not eaten for 5 hours, was starting to feel the bourbon. And he sleeps with the sister of the suspects in 2 pages. He always blames the alcohol. He does it in Dead in the Water too. Just not a problem. Just sleeps with her just because. And interestingly enough, when he catches up to these 2 guys, they beat the ever-loving daylights out of him and give him his second concussion in the book. And while he's laying there half dead, one of them had been dating Arrington before they had met. And the guy says to his companion, he said, "Did I ever tell you I effed his girlfriend?" And then Stone, while he's almost dead, says, "And I effed your sister." Classy stuff. But Dirt ends up being not as suspenseful as New York Dead. They get a confession, Stuart Woods style. In the end, the IRS gets involved. It was, like I said, not as a great a read. If I had to skip one of them, I'd probably skip Dirt. There's better novels out there you could read, but it was an easy read. And if you're into gossip columns and following things like that, then you might enjoy it. Might remind you of some good old days in the 1990s. So that's my review of Dirt. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a great weekend, and I will see you next time on Saturday.